episode of Raising Noir Twins. Y'all, on this episode, we're going to go international. So just for my new followers, my new listeners that may not know, a few years ago, we were just talking, I guess it was more like 5 years ago, not a few. But I used to live in Mexico for about 2 years, a little under 2 years. And in that time, I had this idea of coming up with a YouTube channel where I wanted to interview Black expats, right? And an expat is just an American that decides to go and live somewhere else. So I wanted to kind of get their experience and see how they're adjusting to life abroad. And so I put a message out in Facebook. There's a Facebook page for everything. So I went ahead and put a message out, and this young lady was one of the few that was like, I'm down, like, let's do it. And so I was like, oh shoot, okay. Because I was nervous. It was my first time, but I was like, let's do it, right? And so y'all, it's such a pleasure to have her back. I just think she's dope. She's fearless, she's bold, she's lived in multiple countries. And she's just out here thriving, and I'm here for it all, y'all. I'm here for it all. So without further ado, y'all, welcome to the show, Jazzie, the Black Digital Nomad. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
A correction there. Your introduction was amazing, but I am not fearless. I just don't allow fear to paralyze me. But I do things, and I just am scared. So.
Okay, I love that. Boom. Y'all heard that?
And that's a misconception of me. Often people call me fearless, and I'm like, ma'am, hold up. Okay,
that's not the case. She just be out here doing it. And you know what? I feel like at some point I was kind of like, I'll just kind of go do whatever. But now that I have my girls, I'm kind of like, I'm a little apprehensive about stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's not me. But, I guess with the girls, it comes with that because it's like, I'm all they got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I'll do it for you, girl.
I appreciate it. So before we get started, how can people follow you on social media?
I'm Black Digital Nomad on all platforms except for TikTok. It's nomadic ass jazz. But yeah,
okay.
If you go to my Instagram, I'm more consistent on Instagram. If I am anywhere, yeah. All
right, cool. Y'all definitely go ahead and follow her. This is somebody you want to follow. Like sis is giving content, okay? And I love it. And I think for me, just because like I'm not living that life anymore, so I like get all my energy. I get all of that from her and her posts. So again, go ahead, make sure you check her out, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, because her page will not disappoint. I promise you. And so the last time that we were, that I've seen you in person, let me say that, we were in Playa del Carmen, went to that little smoothie shop. And I forgot the name of it. That was actually one of my favorite smoothie shops in Playa del Carmen too.
Well, they didn't pay us to name drop, so don't worry about it.
Oh, you're right. You're so right. But so since then though, because that was in Mexico, but since then you've gone and traveled on to other countries. So I guess kind of just give us a little history right now. We're going to just talk about what you do, and then we'll go ahead and talk about how you moved abroad and your experience, and we'll go into all of that. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do as a digital nomad?
I'm winging it. If I can be honest, I'm winging it. And yeah, it works for me. But yeah, I do some stand-up comedy. I am a content creator. Although someone reached out to me recently asking how do I make money as a content creator when I don't create content, but I do comedy. I'm a live streamer. Anything that allows me to continue to travel. I'm doing MC work as well, and
nice.
I vlogs when it's up. Sometimes I take that shit down. But yeah, just winging it, really. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so when I first met you, you had like just embarked on like your nomad journey, or your expat journey, excuse me. And I remember you telling me, you were like, I know this ain't it. Like, I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. And you threw out Thailand, right? And so, girl, I think it was like maybe not even 3 months later, because we started following each other on Instagram. And I was like, yo, she really went to Thailand. Like, I was so
I went to Bali first. Yes, I started in Bali after Mexico. After I met you. That was spring, if I'm not mistaken, because I was doing cement cleanse that I always do, my spring cleaning. But I left in May. Actually, I left Playa del Carmen in May, and I headed to Bali for I did 3 months in Bali, 2 or 3 months in Bali.
Okay.
And then I ventured off to Thailand. I always wanted to go to Thailand. I started doing, I did what do you call it? A video shoot for a indie artist in Bali.
Oh, wow.
Like the moment that I got behind the camera, I was like, oh my God, this is what
I've
been loving to do. Yeah. And I've had a background in that before, but you know, some things happened that kind of shifted me from doing that again. But yeah, immediately I felt alive in that. So when I got to Thailand, I started doing stage plays again, and I really enjoyed that. And then I went to Vietnam, and that's what I started to do my stand-up comedy. And I did MC work in Vietnam. I was in Thailand for about a year, and then I did 2.5 years in Vietnam. And then I went back to Mexico for a bit. That's a whole story. We don't have enough time for that one. But I went back to Mexico, and then I left Mexico a few months later, about 6 months later, and I went to Arizona for a bit. To reconnect with my family. I hadn't been home in so long, and then I came to Colombia 3 months ago.
Okay, so you're still pretty new there. So hold on, I want to get back into this comedy stuff though, because when I saw you on set, I was like, sis is out in Southeast Asia doing comedy, like, and let me tell y'all, she's funny, like she's hella funny, like. So how did that even come about? Like, is it like you had connections with like, because you know, like I was saying, there's like a Facebook page for everything. And so in Cancun, you know, there was like the Black expat page. So was that something like a community that you got involved with when you were out there? And that's how you kind of got into it? Or how did that happen?
No, actually, as a performer, I've always wanted to do comedy. But for me, and I think anyone else that does entertainment, it's really the hardest form of entertainment there is. And so I was always really nervous. I used to be pretty active on Snapchat before this is what it is today. 7 years ago, I think now. Wow. And it was when you could not comment. I loved it. It was really just when it would disappear, you know. So I would get on there and just talk, you know, talk about my day or on my way to work. And a comedian reached out to me and was like, oh my God, you're hella funny. You want to do a radio show with us? And I was like, what? And so it was 3 other stand-up comics, and Jeff Shelley's one who's gotten really big on social media now. He did the show with me, I did the show with them. So that was my first introduction into comedy, but I really wanted to do stand-up, but I was really scared and nervous. Yeah. So I would go to workshops and stuff, and, you know, just like, I don't know, because it's different being accidentally funny, you know, like I don't know how to be funny. And so, I was always just kind of apprehensive about it. But living in Asia, and once I started to move abroad, and my lifestyle was already like, well, what else do you have to lose? You know, like it really doesn't fucking matter out here with these people, you know, like who cares? So
but they loved you. I was just about to say they love you because they was out there laughing hard, like from the belly, like, you know, them good laughs.
A good time. And so I just wanted, after I was doing stand-up, when I was doing acting and MC work and stuff like that, I was like, I really want to do comedy. And this was this has been a journey for me too. Moving abroad is more than just, you know, living abroad. It's as I get braver and gain confidence and learn more about law of attraction and what I really want to manifest. We're always manifesting something. But I think when we first start, we may manifest things that are safe for us. And as I was creating things and manifesting, I was like, well, girl, why don't you just really go after what you really, really want? Quit
being safe. It's
always been comedy. Don't be scared, right?
Right.
And so, I did it the first time, and right away it went well, and I got booked for a tour right away, and so I was making money. Not much, but enough, you know, and people are you know, a lot of times people don't make money from comedy for years and years and years. So to be able to make money right away and tour and do well in Asia, amongst other comics, there's a very large comedy scene in Vietnam. A lot of people don't know about that English comedy scene. And they're funny. So I was competing and winning, and I was like, what? You know, so,
like, oh, go ahead, sis.
It just was like, okay. And then I learned more about how to create my own shows and stuff like that. And so I just kind of awesome. I love being on stage. I absolutely love being on stage. And that's how it started for me.
That's so cool. That like when I saw that, I was like, yo, sis really out here doing it. And that really inspires me. Like, I know I haven't been like living abroad in quite some time now, but my goal is to eventually get back to that with my girls. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm still like, oh, I can't wait to get to that point.
Yeah, I don't think the bug ever really leaves us. We
It
don't ever. I think if
doesn't.
you have that travel mentality, you just have it, and it's you, and you'll adapt. Because I've seen a lot of parents continue, single moms,
Yeah.
families, whatever, continue this journey. So yeah.
Yeah. So how would you say like your experience has been like maneuvering in these different countries as a Black woman? Like, do you feel any type of way about it, or has it been a positive experience or a negative experience, or kind of a mixture?
It's been positive, but for me, I think a lot of it is mindset. Like I really, I'm even with my brand, Black People Nomad, I don't really walk in the world as like a Black woman, if that makes sense. Like I don't put that on myself.
I got you.
Because I feel that it comes with a lot of weight. And I don't want that weight. It's not mine to carry. So I just maneuver myself as a person, as a foreigner throughout the world.
Yeah.
And so instead of, it's important for me to shape my mindset that way, because I hear and I've experienced a lot of us, once we leave America, there is a way of being a Black person first, right? And so like every experience, we see the lens of that, right? And I can talk to my other friends who are also travelers who are not Black, may have the same experience, and we may take it and put it and want to make it come across as racism or other things, right? When I'm like, someone's staring at you or looking at your hair or like, being curious and seeing you and looking at you, it's not racism. So, but I still am a Black woman, with that being said. And people are still going to see me as a Black person, but I don't feel that I have any like there's been any negative experiences based on that, right? People are going to be curious, especially in Vietnam, like in Thailand.
Exactly.
And I was out there, right? And so when you're in these small towns and stuff, people are going to stare at you. They want to take pictures all the time. I would just act like they saw my comedy. That I'm manifesting, so it was really just like mindset is a lot of it. I don't let that shit bother me. I'm fortunate to be able to be in these countries and know that coming from America, there's a melting pot, and so like we see all kind of people, and there's a lot of people, places that are not the same way, and so yes, they're gonna stare at you. But overall, I've had a great experience being a Black person abroad.
It seems like it.
I have a great time everywhere I go, and and when I listen to other people who may have different experiences, I don't know, it's people just have different experiences, and I've had positive ones, thankfully.
And like you said, it really is about a mindset, right? So like for me, going to different countries, like that excites me, because I'm going, especially if it's a place that I've never been before, I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm about to get into, but it's exciting. And if you're not in that mindset of wanting to learn more about that culture, or just the mindset that like, I'm just here to have a good time or whatever, if you go in there, like you were saying, like, oh, everybody's looking at me, everybody's staring at me, then that's going to be the experience that you have, because that's what you're focused on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I loved living in Mexico. We went to Veracruz one time, and there's like this small little town called Yanga. And there's a statue of the Black revolutionary Yanga and everything. And so we were trying to find some Black Mexicans. That's what it was. We were trying to find where the Afro Mexicanos live. And so, but they weren't there anymore, but the small little towns around all had like African names. Like, that there was a presence there, but they hadn't seen Black people in I don't know how long. So like the kids was chasing us, they wanted to take pictures, and it was a really, really good time. But if you're not in that mindset, you might think like what's going on, like, and then they say negrita, and you might take that the wrong way.
All the time. Colombia, morena or negrita.
Exactly. So I totally get it. It's all about your mindset and everything like that. So thank you.
And then even so, like maybe not taking, I think even as Black people, we don't realize that we think that it's a negative thing. We expect people to treat us rudely, or if they do treat us rudely, it's racism. And some people are fucking assholes, right? Like they may not like you, they just are mean, So that's why I try to just change the verbiage a lot of times with the Black experience.
No, it definitely makes sense. And so with traveling through different countries and stuff, you know, a lot of places you got to have visas, you got to go through, obviously got to go through customs, immigrations, all this stuff. Have you had any issues with that? Like, can you explain to somebody that may not know that process?
My visa I might be here legally right now. I've been trying to. I'm like, why are you asking that? Who are you working for?
Oh, next question.
Yeah, but that happens, you know, with visas, things. I can share some things, like even with the small thing that people may not realize is the dates. You know, I met a woman in Vietnam, and she said that she had this absurd amount of time, and I was like, that doesn't sound right, ma'am. Like, they don't really give people that much time. You know, like, I don't know. I was like, let me see. And so I was like, hey, your dates, you have the dates brought backwards. So abroad, usually outside of America, it's month first and then the dates, right? And so she thought that she had this much time, and I was like, no, girl, it's backwards. So that happened.
Look, you should have been gone.
yeah, right. You're illegal as hell. But yeah, even like with this situation, like I applied for my visa and I'm just waiting for them to respond. I may have to go there in person, you know, and handle it. But yeah, things like that happen. But yeah, you just want to be on your P's and Q's and yeah, but it's not as difficult as people may think.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I feel like, and that's going to be my next question is like, what do you think a lot of the common misconceptions are when it comes to like living abroad or, you know, making that move or whatever? Like, have you...
one, I think is safety is a big thing, you know, like I have a friend that's coming tomorrow and she was super excited about coming, and I'm really pumped because I think as expats, that's the best gift that you can give.
Yes, right?
It really keeps us, you know, afloat. But yeah, she was excited. She's coming along, and last night was like, hey, I was really excited, but now I'm scared. People keep saying I'm going to be kidnapped and, you know, sex trafficked. And I was like, well, what was their experience like when they came to Colombia? And they're like, well, they haven't been there. Oh, okay. That's okay.
So why are you even listening to them?
Yeah, like, and safety is not to say that safety is not a factor, right?
True.
There's definitely a thing, you know, like I treat everywhere like the hood. I'm gonna be mindful of certain places, like where to go, where not to go. I'm gonna ask locals, do my research, not be flashy, things like that. But you may, and even with you doing all that, you may still get got, right?
Yeah.
It's not your fault, but you know, just being mindful. I think that safety is a big thing, and then people think that a lot of other countries don't have water or internet or streets, pavements, and like it's like, girl,
it's crazy, right? Let me tell you, really when I was in Mexico. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, when the misconception too, I had the same one of before I left Mexico. Before I left America, I was telling my partner at the time, hey, you know, make sure you turn, maybe take cold showers a week before you leave and turn the AC off so that we can get used to like not having hot water in AC.
You know what? I didn't think about that, but that is such a good idea. That is a good idea because sometimes you just don't know.
Yes, but we had AC, we had hot water, and our quality of life improved drastically.
Yeah.
You know, after leaving America, which is,
Yeah. It's funny that you like talking about safety because when I was in Mexico, my dad on the regular would always ask me about the cartel. And I'm like, look, Daddy, one, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not messing with their money. Like they're not checking for me. Like I'm good, you know?
Yeah, it's really like asking my family about the Bloods and the Crips, you know, like we don't know them. Like, I mean, we're here, they're not bothering us because we're not affiliated, you know?
Right. So it's just always funny, like listening to what people think about like living in another country. And I'm like, no, y'all, it's really not like that. Like, and like you said, you do take precaution. Like, I ain't gonna be walking in the alley middle of the night by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when I was there, I felt very safe. Like, I felt like I would walk around by myself, you know, in the daytime, all that stuff, whatever, and not even think twice about it, you know? So I don't know.
I walked here today. It was an hour walk from my home, and I had my headphones on. I've been listening to this new Chris Brown album. You know, down the street, and there's no one. But it's so difficult to listen to Chris Brown and walk normally down the street. I don't know, because I want to jump on like a car.
Right, and, like, start busting out a dance moves.
But I do the dance moves, but not enough props. But yeah, like it's safe. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the biggest misconception is the safety.
I agree.
And then the quality of living. Like, I'm in a beautiful mall right now, right? And it's like, oh, there's malls, and it's like,
yes,
what?
yes.
Like, y'all, like,
yes. And like
America is funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's like because when I was in Cancun, I lived in like Cancun Central, so it's like they're downtown or whatever, and I lived in a condo. Like, I feel like people would be like, what, like, you didn't live in some like little place? Like, no, it was a legit condo.
We're in a hut.
There was a mall next door, and it was like half the price of what we were paying in Miami. Like, and it was fully furnished, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You like a nice little view. Right. Like, girl, yeah. I'm like, just try it, y'all. I promise you, once you try, you're gonna be like, why was I even in America? I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Right. So, have you had any challenges like or language barrier issues? Are you fluent in Spanish? And then how was
I'm not. I'm taking
Spanish
now. Yeah, and I feel like I got kind of living in Mexico, or not in that part of Mexico, Playa del Carmen specifically. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of. I don't know. I think Playa del Carmen is like Mexico light.
Right.
You know, and like,
Cancun
everyone wants to practice their English. Yep. And I'm like, yo, I want to practice my Spanish. Yeah. So now, and then I did Asia for a while. And so after coming back from Asia and realizing, like, okay, I was in Thailand, Bali, and Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand, where those are all different languages. Yeah. Very difficult languages, right? And so now I am very, I have more, what do you call it, to learn Spanish, you know? Like, I'm like, I can grasp this, I can get this, shit, right? And then it transfers easily, right? Because I can learn all that Vietnamese, and then we go right over the next door to Thailand, and they're like, wait. So yeah, no, I'm not fluent yet.
Okay. But, and
then I mean, the language barrier is a thing. I would say day-to-day stuff, but no, I can get, and then there's also things where you're like trying to make, and you get a little frustrated, but like patience is key, right? I've learned a lot about patience. I learned a lot about complaining. Like, a lot of times it's like, what's the fucking point if they don't even understand you?
Right,
you know?
right.
And then you're not going to get anything free, okay? They're not copping shit. So like, but like, when I would say a language barrier, as far as like, there was a lady that worked in my building, and she was there every day, and she's like a grandmother kind of, you know, like she would tell me when the rain was coming, so I would go move my clothes and stuff. Yeah. And she was away for a while for Tet, which is their Vietnamese holiday, like New Year, and Chinese New Year too, but it's not called Chinese New Year in Vietnam. But yeah, they're Tet. And she was away, and when she came back, I really wanted to know like how her time was.
Yeah,
you know, and it was those moments like that where the language barrier keeps you from having a deeper connection with somebody, right?
Yes.
But as far as like my day-to-day things, you know, you'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. It's not that
yeah. And like you said, it's like a lot of places, you know, they want to work on their Spanish or their English, and we're trying to work on their language. So it's, like you said, it's hard, but it's not. Like, I never felt, I felt like I knew enough. Like, when I do tell people that I used to live in Mexico, they're like, oh, so you're fluent? I was like, I know enough to get by. Like,
yeah, I can get by, yeah. Like here, but it's not as English, and there's not a lot of English speakers here at all.
Okay.
And so yeah, like the language is Spanish, right? And so you need to know Spanish. You may get an English menu sometimes, and for the most part, it's Spanish. It's a Spanish-speaking country, and you definitely want to invest your time and energy into learning the language.
Yes. So don't be going there, y'all, and be getting mad, because you know I'm a flight attendant, and so sometimes when we got to pass out like custom and immigration forms on the on the plane, and sometimes we run out of the English ones, right? And so sometimes people get mad like, oh, you don't have the English one. I'm like, look, you gotta practice your Spanish anyway. You about to go to a Spanish country, go ahead and get started. Like,
yes, and that's the thing too, like, don't be rude to people because like I've witnessed that a few times, and I mean I've done it too, where you're just kind of frustrated, like I don't know that, but just take the time to breathe, and also take the time to learn the language, because you are in their country,
Yes, just be respectful. I think that's the main thing, is just try to be respectful of it, So for someone that is like thinking about starting their journey, right? how did you find like a place to live? Like, how was that whole process in any of the countries? Or if you want to talk about everyone, we could do that too. But so like when you went to Vietnam, like how did you find a place to stay there? Or even when you got to Colombia?
Yeah, I typically, well, I think the most important one was when I first started because I had no experience. It was my first country. And looking back now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm very grateful for them. My partner had a friend who had moved abroad maybe like a month or two before, or a few months before we had started to do, or before we did it. Mm-hmm. And so we got an apartment together. We found one, like they were showing us options. We were looking together and secured that place for like a month. And that was in Mexico. But typically I just get a hotel room and I look at Airbnb, or I walk around. Now here in Colombia, it's not that simple to just put your feet to the ground, feet on pavement. So excuse me. I go to, I should have paused for a little so you can edit that out if you're going to.
Oh, you're good.
So with, Colombia, I got a Airbnb, and I'm just doing Airbnbs for now, actually.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, finding a place is not that difficult. Mm-hmm. Again, with certain places where you are, I would try to get an expat coach that can help you. Like I do, like I'll help you with your housing, things like that.
Okay, nice.
When you first move, because it is difficult. Like what area is it? Looking at these photos, these Airbnb be catfishing.
Look, let me tell you, girl.
In Bali, I was like, that was wild in Bali. Like I think I started to just go around and say like, hey, can I come and see this in person just so I can kind of get content? I started to be like, look at this before. This is not the same room,
This is not the picture listed on Airbnb at all.
But it's not as difficult as you would think. But after 5 years of doing it, it is much easier for me to navigate these things,
And then just y'all, if you're thinking about, going abroad or anything like that, also there's a Facebook page for everything. There's like, get online. Like there's so much information out there just to kind of get you prepared too. You can ask questions, people are going to answer. So whatever country you go into, trust and believe there's some expats there,
Yes.
So that's also another thing, like try to just connect with people and just get as much information, I guess, as you can before you decide to make that big move too, right?
Right.
And so what would you say, like what would be your advice as a consultant, right, of Black Digital Nomad? Like what would be your advice to that person or to that family that's like, all right, we ready, right? Like what is there like a number one thing, or it could be a list of things for them to really prepare to I know I had mentioned, maybe joining the Facebook pages, but maybe you might have more insight on like what they can do to really prepare for that move.
That's so broad, and everyone has different and individual needs. And so, like for me, it was really just do it, right? For me, just take that leap, right? But for other people, you may have an aging parent, or you may have children, or so it's really it's not a one size fits all type of thing. And I used to just be like, just do it, right?
Yeah.
But people are not as, and they may have more Virgo in their chart, right? I'm there in work all day, so I'm like, airy fairy, I will do something impulsively. I trust that the universe has me and is providing for me. I'll be saying affirmations and shit all day. So for people like me, I would just say do it. Just take the leap. And a lot of times people they over prepare. They'll prepare themselves so much, and you really can't prepare yourself for life in that way. Like, have some money. So my thing is just have some money.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Number one thing is cover your ass. Please get insurance. I am so tired of seeing GoFundMes for people who have died abroad. If you die abroad, you have to get your body back, right? And so your parents have already lost their child, your families have already lost you, and now they got to figure out how to come up with $250,000 to get your body back to the States. So please get insurance. It's about $40 a month.
Yes, I actually am a licensed insurance agent too, so I'm so glad you said that. I'm like, I'll be preaching this all the time.
Because it's bad, and I'm like, I will always try to give what I can, but like I'm tired of seeing it, y'all.
Yes,
your family should not be selling fish baskets to get your ass back you know, when your rent was $200 in Asia, but enough of that. I just really, it just kind of grinds my gears seeing it so much, because it's like, it's devastating for that, right? And we can't even really mourn that because we're trying to come up with money to get people back home. So that's my only advice, is to get proper
covered.
Insurance. Yeah.
No, thank you for saying that, because I'm telling you, I'll be telling people this all the time, and it's like, I don't know why it just doesn't register, because, and not just with living abroad too, but just here, like,
yeah, always,
it's just, you know, I see it all the time on the corners. I'm like, you know, you can't even, like you said, properly grieve your loved one or celebrate their life because you like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna pay for this? You know what I mean?
I've seen that too a lot, even with amongst coaches online and stuff, and I'm just like,
yes,
let's kind of get these things in order, and then maybe even talk about it more so that people understand and know the importance of having these things in order. But it's not an old thing. Like, it's not for old people.
Yeah,
I think that's what people think. Like, like I'm cool, I'm young, I'm tender. You know, I don't need
little tenderonis. Yeah.
You know, none of that shit matters. I don't care about being a beacon. You know, the world does not care. Accidents happen. You know.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that, girl. Yes.
So, yeah, it's bad, and it's amongst our community especially.
Yeah, and so excuse me. So with that being said, like, I want to go into a little bit more about what you, I guess, do for expats, like with your consulting business. Just kind of a little bit, give people, like, what can they expect when they come to Black Digital Nomad, and they're like, Jazzie, I need your help, girl.
Yeah.
What can they expect?
Everybody is tailored differently. Again, it depends on who they are, what they're doing, what their needs are.
So let me say,
and if I cannot help you,
I'm coming with my 2 babies. Right?
Okay.
I'm like, look, girl, I'm ready. I'm tired of this rat race. I want to get out. I'm coming with my 2 babies. I got a little money saved, got my insurance. What would be your next move, or like your advice to me?
Yeah, well,
and this is like real life.
Where, yeah, well, look at you trying to get free coaching. No, just kidding. But no, it would really depend on where you're trying to go. So we will figure that out. Okay, so what places would fit you, what places are suitable for you, being a mom. Where do you want to go? Do you have money saved? Do you have money coming in? Do you need to work on that? You know, or do you just need, a lot of times when I'm working with people, it's mindset is what they don't even realize, and I'm asking questions like, we gotta fix this mindset.
Yes,
how you think.
Yes, I'm so glad because that's with anything. Like, if your mindset ain't right for anything, like, nothing's gonna be right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And once you change your mindset, you can change everything.
Girl, stuff just start opening up. You be like, what?
I was laying in the hammock yesterday doing absolutely nothing, and I was like, wow, I love this, and I know that this is curated based on how I think, you know, and
it really is
how I use my mind, and like it's a beautiful thing once you can get this shit together up here. So I do mainly mindset, you know, for people. But then again too, like if you're a solo traveler and you want a place to be, a lot of times I'll have place. So if you want to come with me for a month and get like situated, like as a landing pad, I can help you with that. If you come stay with me, you'll rent a room, not stay with me. I'm not rent a space.
You're like, hold on, let me make that clear.
Because once I say inbox to be damn, I don't have no couch for you. I don't know you. And even if I do, if you know me, you know the answer is no. But like having a landing pad, because I realized like when I started, I did have that, you know, whether it felt like it or not, you know, just having that space of having your root chakra, right? So focusing on the root chakra things of your home, you know, internet, having that set up for you, even having a phone caught up, things like that, you know, getting them caught up with, situated with insurance, how to do insurance, where to live. Now, if you don't want something so tailored to that, I can help you with areas of where you want to go, what would be the right fit for you. Just really like whatever questions you have based on like how to get this situated.
So if you're thinking about moving abroad or anything, y'all definitely hit her up, because she been doing this. This is what she do. Like, there's nobody better to tell you like how to maneuver in these different countries and everything. And before, when you were in Mexico, I'm like we was in there together. When you were in Mexico, did you used to do oh gosh, what's the name? I'm having a moment. But you used to put on like sister circle type things at the beach.
Yeah.
Do you still do that? And I'm sorry, I know I probably messed up the name, and I just can't think right now.
No, it's nothing. I'm just someone that connects people. That's a strength of mine. So when I was doing Sunday dinners and Vietnam, Sunday brunches and stuff like that. Yeah. Really just connecting people together. And so I was doing sister circles. I'm not doing them right now here. But like I'm always curating something, putting together something for people just to connect.
I know. I wanted to go every time like you have one. I'm like, I can't make it because I really love. I really love stuff like that. I love like the connecting and like networking and all this stuff, and it's just awesome, especially when you're in another place that is kind of unfamiliar to you, and so to kind of have like that commonality, like okay, my sister's here, like it makes it feel like it's like a little piece of home, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
So what's one last thing that you want people to remember just about living abroad, or about Jazzie, the Black digital nomad, just something for the people to remember?
I think people should curate their lives based on themselves, right? And not what other people think or what society wants them to be, and I think that I'm a vision of that, and I live my life fully, freely, bravely, and boldly for me. And it's very rewarding that way. And I think that a lot of times we don't realize that it's very selfish to live this way. Absolutely. However, I have so much more to give from the people in my encounters when I do give, right? I'm not pouring from an empty place. And it doesn't turn me bitter too, because I watch a lot of people who are very people-pleasing or self-sacrificing, right? And they end up very sick. And they end up very alone and sad because and unfulfilled, because it's not an exchange. Even exchange of energy, right? And so it doesn't really help. You hinder more people in that way. And so, I think there's a lot of people that are living that way. And I would like to do something that makes you happy. And don't people, it's okay to be afraid. Like, I fearless, because I am not fearless. I am very apprehensive. I'm scared. But I did not let fear paralyze me. I'm the fear. I face the fear. And it's amazing to do something that you're afraid of. I like that. And I did it. It's so good. So you can get out of your comfort zone. And know that there's a whole entire world. I look back in the last 5 years. Now it's like, oh my God, I got it takes a lot to trust me, like, and also be in an environment where I can actually thrive. And really be myself and not have to figure out how to
Well, whatever all this say that you are doing, it's working for you, because one, you look amazing, you look great. I'm like, I want this glow. Look, I'm over here and this first of all hot. It's hot over here.
look great.
But I'm just honestly, I'm so proud of you, and you don't realize it. And I tell this to everybody that I have on here. In some way or form, y'all inspire me, and to see you still like living that life. And I'm just like, I'm rooting for you, because I'm just like, yes, this is doing it, So thank you so much for doing this show. Again, it's a pleasure. You were my very first guest when I was trying to get into it, and I was super nervous. I still be nervous sometimes, but like you said, you got to go ahead and face the fear, right?
Yes. Eddie Murphy still gets nervous when he does comedy, and he's been doing comedy like in 40 years.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and that changed everything for me to realize that it's like when you're doing something, the only thing that does not make me nervous is laying in the bed all day, right? And I like that. I'm still going to do that sometimes. But anything else that you're moving through, like move through that and don't let these feelings paralyze you, right? It's amazing seeing you still do and go after what you love, nervous and all.
Yeah, and same for you. And so one last time, how can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, just go Black Digital Nomad from there, and wherever I direct you from there.
Everything will pop up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Jazzie. I really do appreciate it, and much success, blessings, and safe travels to you and everything. Thank you again. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This was
Wonderful
fun.
talking to you. Yeah,
All right.
of course.
Bye, girl.
Bye.